welcome back to the channel. This is Brittany with Scribbles by Brittany, and if you are new here, you are joining me in for the October episode that is actually being recorded in August. But this particular piece of artwork has been kind of put on the back burner because of this um, episode. I really wanted you guys to get into the feel of Halloween and know that Halloween is my thing. I love it. I am predominantly a Halloween girly. Uh and I'm honestly just a fall autumn girly too. I love the pumpkin spice. I love the frights and the freaks and the all around Halloween feel. I love Now I don't like spiders, but we coexist. We coexist. um, but anyway, this is kind of a special um episode. I'm going to be telling you guys about the scary things that I've had happen and some of the hauntings and things that I've experienced, whether you guys believe it or not. That is completely up to you. Personally, I know what I saw. Um, and yes, I know that some things can be attributed to either lack of sleep or the way light ref, refracts off of objects. I completely understand that. I'm not here to tell you what to believe or who to believe or what. It's not in my job. I'm just here to let you guys know of a spooky story time. And this particular piece of artwork was inspired by the Day of the Dead in Mexican culture tradition. They celebrate the dead, um, and I think it goes a little bit deeper into celebrating the life of the person that is deceased. It's not so much, oh, we're celebrating dead people. No, it's celebrating the life and what they had given us to appreciate. And that is special to me. I've always loved that thought process. I love that part of the culture. And honestly, like, I've kind of adapted it into my own. Um, my dad had passed away, I think, close to, has it been 2 years ago? 3 years ago. Yeah, because he passed away in 2021. Um, so as of when you're watching this video, it will be 3 years that he has been gone. And I talk about him all the time. Um, I talk about some of the things that he used to do and how funny of a guy he was. So, that is my way of celebrating the people who have passed. And with this piece of artwork, I have went in with a darker shade and moved lighter with the colors. I wanted it to be bright and fun because that's what we're doing here. We're celebrating the life of those who've passed. That's that's all it's about. And I'm also here to tell you a spooky story. But anyway, I thank you guys for joining me in this episode, and I hope to gain more followers. I'm hoping that people will like find this episode funny and kooky and just strange and weird and yeah. Everything that you want in an episode that is catered around Halloween. So I'm gonna get right into it because there is actually roughly two two parts to the story, but it's hard to explain. Um, so I wanted to tell you about a very scary experience that I had probably close to 13 years ago, and it's actually wild to me to think back to how long ago it was, but it has stuck in my brain like glue on. It's been a core memory of mine. This occurrence happened one time, and it was actually in the middle of summer, so it didn't actually happen um, towards like October or Halloween or anything like that. And I was 18 at the time, and I remember going to work, which was a 2 mile bike ride across town. And I worked like the second shift, so when I was coming home, it was by all means late in the night or relatively late. Uh, there was a couple of houses that were located across the street from each other. The one house was rumored to have an old jail in the basement or at the back of the property. And one day, going through Facebook, the property was actually listed up for sale. And it was funny because, like, they actually had pictures of the old jail that was under, like, in the property. So that rumor actually turned out to be pretty true, which is kind of funny. And I'm pretty sure it was in its times it was told to be the police station where they held people for like county jail awaiting trial or like for petty crimes and DUIs and stuff like that. It was nothing that would house people for months on end. It was also known for being a bed and breakfast off and on, but nothing serious happened. Um, and so now the house across the street was a different story. This the rumors that I heard about this place were haunting. This house had 3 stories, probably a traditional brick and extremely foreboding with a guest house or a groundskeeper house. I mean, and this is on a relatively small property and it's actually located somewhat in town. Like, not necessarily in the heart of town, but it's very prominent when you drive by it and stuff. Um, and when I was a kid, I always had this uneasy feeling about the house, even just going by it in the car to go to Walmart. It was very, um, had this weird aura around it. And during the day, it was pretty menacing, um, or at least that's what it felt like. At night, it only ever had candlesticks lit in the windows, which was weird because they never caught the curtains on fire, and it was strange. It was so the rumors that I had heard about this house was that it was owned by a doctor that also worked at the local hospital. So nothing of the ordinary, right? And then I had heard that a woman appears in the second story window that overlooks the yard and had that street view. I have never seen the woman that people have told me about. The woman that was described was just as menacing as the house. She was elderly but also able-bodied, kind of like one of those women that like in the 1800s they just had this approach that was obviously confident, but you never wanted to cross her. Like she was that mother-in-law that was like, my son is way too good for you. She had that sense of confidence, that air of presence. And she She was by frail no means, like, but I've never seen her in the window. Now, going back to the doctor, it was rumored that he was racist, but can't confirm this. And back to his profession, I had heard that someone had died on his operating table back in the day, and he couldn't let the death go. He just, it's one of those things that I think as a doctor or an EMT or a cop or something, there's always that one thing, that one case, that one person, that one thing that always sticks to that one person's profession. And anyway, so the rumor was is that he would harvest organs from different animals and Frankenstein parts to the already dead people. And this was done in his basement, and the basement was full of jars and different things, and some from his own experiments. I was also told that he would have his help, and that's in quotations, have his help go missing, but no one could ever give evidence that literally anything was going on. And this was back when paper trails could be burned, if that gives into context how old this property was. And yeah, this uh, the town itself is somewhat old. Um, Honestly, I couldn't begin to tell you exactly how old it is, but I know it's, I want to say it's 1800s, or like it's relatively old. So coming back to the design, I wanted these sugar skulls to be stacked in a way that was catching to the eye, and with the bright colors that kind of helps draw the eye in a little bit more. I don't really have much to say other than I am tired right now. These early mornings are getting to me so much. And I'm hoping that eventually I can quit my day job and just do art full time because that is the dream. And right now I am working on the dream. My chair kept on like sliding down or what, but like it was like cut like when you have a desk chair, it kind of like stoops. And I'm not sure why it's doing it, but it's driving me nuts. Because one minute I'll be above my table, and then the next I'm below my table. But yeah, so that is obviously the goal that I'm working on right now, is trying to do graphic design and art full time, and having you guys follow along that journey. Is getting really, really special. So So continuing from the story, fast forwarding to that one night during the summer, like 13 years ago, I was coming home from work late at night and riding my bicycle back home. The street had street lamps, but they were positioned in areas where it created an extra darkness between the street lamps that were not bright enough to illuminate the entire road. And I'm not sure fully what it was, but I had approached that street, that stretch of darkness, and as I was approaching that large patch of darkness, there was a car coming towards me as well, and in the moonlight, I had seen a little girl kneeling like she was in prayer, and I I had screamed because it looked absolutely so real in that moment that I was just like, oh my god, that car is gonna hit her. And I'm at this moment, I am freaking out. I am hyperventilating. Like, I can't believe I just watched somebody get, or, I just can't believe I'm a witness to this. Like, I'm thinking that this little girl was real. And I blinked, and the little girl was gone. Like, and and me, I'm going into a full panic attack because I'm thinking I'm witnessing this little girl possibly start to get hit by a car. And they just drove away from the scene. Like, I'm freaking out. And honestly, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was mirage or if it was an actual ghostly apparition, but I had come to grips that the person that I had seen was not a living being in this world. And afterwards, I don't really remember sleeping all a whole lot that night, and but I was trying to make sense of what was going on and everything that was going on around me. It was absolutely, it definitely was terrifying because it was terrifying on two sides of that. It was terrifying that, oh my god, I think I almost witnessed a girl get hurt. And on the other side of that, if it wasn't a girl that I had seen, what was it? And in the back of my head, part of me wants to know, what the heck did I see? So that way I could make sense of it all. Um, but yeah, it's just, it had always stuck with me, and that will always be something that I kind of hold close to my chest. Um, and it's something that, whether you believe or not, is up to you. Uh, I know what I saw, and if you are like me and you believe in your heart of hearts that that's exactly what happened, um, or what you've experienced before, then that, leave it in the comments below. I would like to hear the stories that you guys have about encountering other beings from that are not from this realm, and seeing what you guys come up with. And I think when I was doing this piece in the skull of the one, I think I had made a mistake or something, and I didn't like the way that it had turned out when I had sketched, like, I didn't like the way it turned out when I had colored it in. So I went back through and I had made necessary changes to the artwork. But it's okay, because that's what art is all about. It's about learning, it's about using your creativity to change things and manipulate them the way that you need to make it work in your benefit. I wanted this artwork to be a little cohesive in the color palette, and I also wanted it in a way contrasting too, because the contrasting complementary, I feel like it does a lot more when you're trying to like captivate the viewer and draw the viewer in. So I had went with the same colors for the flowers as I did with the sugar skulls to add that complementary cohesive draw, and I think it turned out really really well, as like it just it kind of goes back to the roots of a sugar skull, just having beautiful bright colors and really, I don't want to say being in your face because it's not what I'm intending for it to be. I'm wanting it to draw the eye, to make you question, to make you wonder, but also keep it very respectful. Um, so the whole reason why I had the color choices what I did is because I wanted to draw in the eye of the viewer. I wanted it to be very, very pungent in sight without it being overbearing, of course, and I also didn't want it to be disrespectful too. But I definitely like how the flowers had turned out in accentuating the sugar skulls. I think that it adds a little bit of extra life to the piece of artwork. Um, and all that's all it what it's about, I guess. And if you guys want to check out my supplies list that I used for this particular piece of artwork, I will have them listed below. I used Pigma Micron Archival Ink pens. I had used just a regular Bic pencil, clicky pencil. I also used Copic markers in the varying, I believe it was violets, like your violet color, your is it? It's not red. It's the R family, and then also um the yellow family on the Copic chart. I could probably find a list of the colors that I had used for it and list them down below. I also did use, I believe, neutral grays. It might have, yeah, because I don't think I gotten any cool grays uh, in my collection when I had done this piece. So, but I did use the microns to outline areas that I felt like needed to be outlined. And if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give a like and share it with your friends. If you enjoyed, go ahead and hit the notification bell if you want to hear me more and hear my ramblings. And I will be hanging out with you next month in the next video. And remember to create more and worry less, guys. Bye.